Alrighty. So this is a profit and loss statement. I'll start with the first here, income. So this is just for last year, 2021. Income-wise, we had some, as you can see here. And then here, just our operation expenses overall. We also had an intern, which was very new and implemented just last year for the first time. So we had their wages and then added up to 1,090 comparative to the income, 1,048. And then when we just balance it out, total expenses came up to about $2,000. And so when we balance it out, came to be, we're a deficit about $1,000. So this is just a very basic profit and loss statement. I'm gonna show this, which is our balance sheet. So it shows all the transactions that happened over the last year, but to make it more clear, this table is just what we're gonna focus on. Okay, so overall, yes, here's our grand total of our withdrawals. And then you can see our deposits, so that's our income. And so there you can see that we had a deficit of $1,000, which was pretty similar to last year, the past year, 2020. And entering this year, we were thinking, I feel we need to get some more funding from somewhere to maintain our organization. You know, we have operation expenses, although we're a nonprofit organization. So we were successful in getting a grant from Food Farm to Cafeteria Canada earlier this year. And then we got a huge grant approved by Public Health Association of British Columbia. And they gave us $52,000. So we're entering this year pretty strong in terms of funding. So although last year we see that we had a deficit, this year it's very hopeful that we'll have good funding in store for any other operations, perhaps with our new school food animator that's coming up, that will also be supported well. But this table shows last year's really, there's not too big and crazy stuff happening. But the new thing that we have is a student intern, and that's new, that just started last year, which continued on till shortly this year, earlier this year. But now we have the school food animator coming up later this year, so we'll have that added on. Otherwise, everything's pretty self-explanatory here, but I'm happy to answer any questions you may have regarding the balance sheet or the profit and loss statement. Right. Yes. Oh, yes. So the fund. So good question. So Laura asked, the funding for the student intern. Last year we didn't receive it. We received it this year. So it's not reflective of all the transactions from this year up till actually like today. I just have 2021 from January to December 2021 here. Our total entering this year was 1,126. Also, we need to subtract 1,000 because Fauna had graciously deposited. So we had that extra wiggle room. But I don't have a current balance sheet for this year, but all the funding that we received for the student intern was this year. So it's not reflected here. But the grants certainly is a huge surplus. we had two student interns, one over the summer, and then one who started in the fall last year. And the funding in total was received this year. So there was just some confusion that we might have gotten some funding last year, but I'm going to return back, stop share. My screen. Okay. Yeah, I'm very glad. And it seems that this year we're off to a really good start. A lot of support from the organizations that we have partnered with.